Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater, and tonight, again, I'm in my car, killing time, waiting for my girlfriend to finish shopping, so I wanted to touch upon a particular story that's been making its way around Twitter tonight that I find to be very fascinating, very interesting, and also a whole heap of just like, no duh, right? And I just want to, let me re-emphasize that. No duh. That's what I'm talking about here. So according to comic book, I think it's comicbookresources.com. Yeah, comicbookmovie.com, citing an article from the playlist. There was a recent roundtable discussion with Alan Horn and Tom Rothman. Alan Horn runs Walt Disney Studios, and Tom Rothman, as we know, ends up running, Sony. And I think Sony is an absolute just dumpster fire of a company right now. I've been saying this for the longest time, and there is no better way to look at that, to describe that, than to look at just how badly they bungled the Spider-Man deal back in the summer. And it was Sony's fault. Everything fell apart. And I'm sorry if you don't believe that, but that's the absolute honest to God truth of the situation. And then, apparently Tom Holland drunkenly got Bob Iger's number, called up the CEO of Disney drunk and was like, hey, Bobby, baby, why did you come on out, baby, and make it work? And then Bob Iger, so allegedly moved by Tom Holland's drunken stupor and compassion and pleas, he sat there and they worked out a deal with Sony, in order to make the deal work for giving us Spider-Man 3 and to put, Spider-Man in one event film coming up. So we know Spider-Man 3 starts filming this year to be released next summer. We don't know which event film Spider-Man's going to go to, but in this roundtable, Tom Rothman, interestingly enough, Tom Rothman was like, it's a win-win-win. It's a win for Sony. It's a win for Marvel. It's a win for fans. It was a good deal. He went on to kind of criticize the news cycle, saying the news cycle got ahead of the negotiations. It's not everything happened the way that it happened. Yada, yada, yada. No, he's trying to cover his own butt on that one. They done screwed the pooch. They done effed it up. And I think if you pay attention, if you really read between the lines and you really look at what happened, you know that they done goofed. And so at this point, Sony loses money quarter after quarter. And yeah, they're going to do well this quarter because of Jumanji, but they've got Bloodshot coming out here pretty soon, which is probably, I want Bloodshot to do well, but I'm not necessarily thinking Bloodshot's going to do the best. It's got to build an audience, and I don't know if Vin Diesel alone is enough to bring that audience, if I'm being honest. I want to see it. I'm hopeful. I have high hopes. But at the same time, I'm also looking at this realistically, giving Sony's track record. I mean, hell, look at Charlie's Angels. That movie kind of, right? It just crapped out. We all know it. We saw it happen. So Tom Rothman needs a win because he was brought in to fix the mess left behind by Amy Pascal. And we know this, but he has not been able to really secure that win outside of a couple smaller projects here and there and Spider-Man, which is a Marvel Studios co-production. And basically that means that Marvel Studios handles everything outside of the financing and marketing. So, and fans know that it's part of the MCU, so they stick around. This is not, again, this is known stuff. So he wants to apparently keep the deal going past Spider-Man 3. And it just makes the most amount of sense because let's look at what Sony's doing right now. Sony is diving in so hard. We're talking balls deep into this Sony Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Or their Sony, whatever you want to call it, Marvel Universe, right? The SMCU or the SMU, whatever you want to call it, right? We've got Morbius popping up in a couple months. They're shooting, they're doing the reshoots for that right now, which apparently is tying into Spider-Man Far From Home, which yes, is effectively a Sony movie. So there's things they can pull from. And then you've also got, also you got the Vulture. So there's that, but then you've got Venom 2 that's shooting right now. And apparently that one's supposed to be pretty big. And that's supposed to apparently, tie the universes together a bit because we heard from Kevin Feige that Spider-Man is the only character that can walk in between the worlds, in between universes. We know that there's now an unnamed mystery film coming October 2021 from Sony that's set in the Spider-Man universe. It could be Madam Web. It could be Spider-Gwen. It could be I don't know, Morbius 2. It could be Silver Sable Black Cat. It could be Kraven the Hunter. We've heard all of these things. And this is what I've been saying for a long time now. And those longtime viewers of the channel, you all know I've been saying this. So there's the MCU, and then there's Sony's cinematic universe, and it's gonna run parallel to it, and it's just gonna have touch points. It's never gonna touch back, okay? It's never going to touch back, but it's going to touch it as much as it possibly can. And that actually isn't a bad idea. I just want to be clear on that one. That's not really a bad idea. And I say that predominantly because if you think about it for a second, it adds more lore to the overall ancillary universe. And it does good for Sony if the movies are successful. And this is why they want to keep it going, because they want the partnership with Marvel. Remember, Amy Pascal has made comments about that in the past. Feige had to kind of like, shut up, shut your mouth, Amy. But she kept doing it. And now we know that they're kind of getting closer and closer to that deal. And Sony really does kind of have, to be fair, all the cards in this scenario. They have the ability to sit there and go, yeah, no, wait a minute. We really, really, really want to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. So let's do this for our negotiating. We want to have our characters run parallel and have there be touch points, and maybe we can make a deal work where we bring the characters over. Because here's the thing, if Marvel gets paid no money by Sony, or Marvel has to pay Sony no money to use these characters in the bigger MCU, then Sony can take those characters, sadly through Avi Arad. Why at this point does he still keep making movies? But whatever, I digress. And then they can sit there and they can, they can launch it into their own universe, and from there make some money. And Venom was an absolute example of it working. And if Morbius is a hit, then we know for a fact that the audience is willing to work with it, and the audience is willing to work in that multi-universe world between two different studios. And so obviously Tom Rothman wants to make sure that this sort of thing continues. Obviously, it's in his best bottom line financial interest to make sure this does work. And that's it. That's where we're at with this stuff right now. So anyway, I just wanted to ramble about that. I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about this one? And no, I'm not on cocaine. I am just amped up to talk about Spider-Man. So again, your thoughts, your opinions. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, smack that bell, beat that bell, just abuse it like Sony's probably going to abuse Spider-Man characters in the goodwill with fans from that. And we'll talk again soon. Have yourself a great day, guys, and peace out.